I think just continuing to sharpen the axe, go through the details of the game plan, just take it one day at a time. Normal Wednesday, normal Thursday, normal Friday, and then go out and do our best to win.
Christian, who's me?
Think of what's happened to the running back market and some of the guys that you're probably on a text chain with who haven't got paid positions with mid-key value.
Well, I'm hopeful that that's going to change. I really hope so. I think if you look at history and you look at every position has gone through lulls because of the franchise tag and because of just where the cap is at and where different positions end up lying. Unfortunately, ours has been recently, but I hope that it changes soon.
A lot of people think that if the 49ers win the Super Bowl, not to put pressure on it, but that would be the turning point because it would say, look, here's a team with a highly paid running back who's won the Super Bowl, who showed you can win at a high level. Do you think that could be the impetus to turn it around?
I think I've seen running backs that aren't in the playoffs that are the most valuable players on their team. I've seen running backs in the playoffs that are extremely talented and have a lot of value. This is such a team sport. It's the biggest team game on the planet. And I think to say that it's because of one player that a team wins the Super Bowl is just not true. I don't think that's ever been true. But I see value in running backs all over the league.
Christian, who was made when you saw this picture? What is your thoughts about it?
I probably didn't know what was going on at the time. I just remember that was me and my older brother Max, just probably filled with joy, excited that we had an open field to play on.
Since when you want to emulate what your father does in his career?
Man, I mean, I've wanted to play football. I mean, ever since I was 7 years old when I first put a helmet on. It's been my dream to play in this league and to, have success, and to be sitting here, have an opportunity to play in a Super Bowl is a lot of fun. Yeah, it's a good question. It's for he's pretty consistent in the advice he gives, and it's always about taking care of your body and resting as much as possible. Treat it like a normal week. Whatever you would do in week 4, in week 8, in week 12, wherever it is, do that. It's been going well all year, so just don't change a whole lot and stay calm, stay focused, and just continue to prepare mentally and physically all week.
Christian, who has made the
It would mean the world, man. I mean, to be able to win a Super Bowl is something that, like I said, been dreaming about as a kid. Got to watch my dad do it. And so to be able to do that would be awesome.
Christian, it's been 27 years since the last MVP was a running back. What it takes for a running back to become MVP for this game?
To be an MVP as a running back, I think you gotta rush for, you gotta have 2,000 yards or 1,000 maybe and a bunch of touchdowns, and then I think to be an MVP, you got to have quarterbacks that have some down years.
How are you feeling mentally?
I feel great. I feel great mentally.
Speak on Brock Purdy and what he made for his 49ers team.
Man, as Brock goes, he's the leader of this team. Everything starts with him. He's one of the best players I've ever played with, and to be able to do it just in his second year, I think. What he's done, not just if you look at the numbers, and you didn't put his name at it, you would be in awe. And then I think you add the fact that he was the last pick of the draft. You add the fact that I think people forget he rehabbed an elbow the whole entire offseason. He didn't get to throw till training camp, and now he's quarterback in the Super Bowl in his second year in the NFL. I look back to my second year in the NFL, and man, if I had the success that he had, that's special, and I think it's only up from here, and I'm just happy, and we're lucky he's on our team.
Beyond your dad's impact on the Super Bowl experience, what did you sort of learn from him or your grandfather in terms of speed training? I mean, they both were elite in that regard.
Yeah, as far as speed training, and my dad always gave great advice. He was somebody that took a lot of pride, and a lot of people used to call him slow, and he took that to heart and tried to get as fast as humanly possible. Speed comes from first knowing what you're doing. I think especially in football, you can play fast if you if you know exactly what to do on every play and you're good at reading coverages, you're good at reading defenses, you know where to put your eyes. You know, Bobby Turner always says, run with your eyes and your feet will follow. And so I think that's the first part of speed in football. And then the actual mechanics part of it, you got to have good genes, and then you have to practice it all the time. I think speed's like anything. You need to rep it. You need to run fast and do it often.
Did you study your grandfather's mechanics at all?
No, not really, no.
Your father won 3 Super Bowls, and assuming this might be your first, have you had a chance to sit down with your dad one-on-one and just embrace that moment as a father and son, and just take it? I mean, any advice from your dad, anything that can prepare you to this Sunday Super Bowl?
Yeah, you know, I think when it comes to my dad giving me advice, I think sometimes the best advice is just to continue doing what you're doing. And for him, you know, he never made a game. Obviously, it's the Super Bowl, but there's no rah-rah speech. There's no pump-up speech. The natural emotion will come in, and I'll be excited. But, you know, as I said before, it's all about, hey, make sure your body's good, make sure your mind's good, and then go do what you do. That's pretty much it.
What made the biggest impact on your career and why?
Man, it's hard to just say one. I've had so many people who have made such a big impact and so many people I'm thankful for. My dad's been a massive impact in my life from the time, you know, he taught me and my brothers how to play the game, how to do it the right way. My older brother is somebody that I credit almost all of my success to because, you know, my older brother carried me, you know, everywhere. He would beat the hell out of me in one-on-one outside, whether we were shooting hoops, you know, whether we were playing knee football, video games, whatever it was. He would always beat me, but he always included me, and I'm really thankful for that. He let me tag along with his friends. And then, man, I've had so many great coaches, too, that it'd be too long to list the names, but a lot of people who have had massive impacts on my life. It's been great. I think, you know, football is very spiritual for me. I look at, you know, one of the things my dad used to teach me is, you know, whatever blessings God's given you, just you have to maximize them. You have to honor the gift, and it is very spiritual for me. It's how I represent myself. You know, I think football is the greatest sport ever because you can define yourself without ever saying a word, and I think that's a really cool thing. I don't think every job you can do that, and so I appreciate the blessings that God's given me, and I'm just thankful that I get to do this for a living. Yeah, I mean, you know, I think going in, there was obviously a lot of talk about the Shanahan-McCaffrey connection, but I just tried to be as professional as possible. When I got there, I wanted to learn the plays as quick as possible. You know, I understand it's a business, and I think everyone does too. And no matter how close your families are, if you don't perform, you know, you're not going to last. And I just had gotten traded, so I was like, look, I was clawing to just, you know, be the best running back I could possibly be. And I think we started out and have a very professional relationship and just let the relationship grow naturally. But I'll tell you what, I've been so fortunate to be able to learn in that room from him. He's the smartest mind I've ever been around when it comes to football. And I think anyone who gets to sit in those meetings with Kyle is lucky. Man, I feel like I'm extremely similar to my mom in a lot of ways. You know, she's the engine of our family. She's the one that makes it run. She's feisty as ever, competitive as hell, not afraid to say what she thinks. But that's why we love her, man. I mean, she's the cool mom, you know, so to say, and just really lucky that, you know, she's a mom of 4 boys who all played sports, and to do that is really tough. And I think was the perfect person for it.
Christian, if you had the chance to ask anyone a question, a one-on-one question for anyone in the world, past or present, who would that be?
Ooh, God, that's a tough question. If I could ask anyone
Anyone in the world.
past or present a question. Oh, man, I'd have. Let me get back to you. I have to think about that. Yeah. Yeah, it's impressive as hell. You know, what he's done is amazing. You know, one thing I've learned being in the NFL is it really doesn't matter where you get drafted. You know, I've seen first-round picks who don't end up well, and you see a guy like Brock, you see guys who are undrafted who turn out to be, you know, all pros and Hall of Famers, and so nothing matters. I think when you get drafted, your past doesn't matter. And if there's one thing when you look at Brock's career, even in college, when you look at, I think I saw a video of his coach on senior day the other day and how he impacted that organization. That's just not a special player, that's a special person. And I think in the NFL, when you have someone like that who has the right mindset coming in, who's humble, who's hungry, who has that chip on his shoulder, they have a massive advantage because he's had to scratch and claw for everything he's ever had. And if you have that going into the league, I think that's a massive advantage and something that, you know, a lot of people who might be first rounders or top draft picks, you see a little bit of complacency sometimes, and Brock doesn't have any of that, and he still carries that same chip, still has that same attitude, and just a hell of a player.
I think it's his upbringing, his background, you know, and just his genetic makeup, like his characteristics. He's just, that's him. You can't really shake him. You know, he's just calm as can be. You know, so. Yeah, definitely.
Sal's mentioned play calling, right? And I mean, you've known Kyle for 10 years now, right?
Right.
We're in
Yeah.
this league together. There's a lot of pressure on him. You guys get the monkey off his back here and try to get this Super Bowl here. What have you seen from him the last few weeks, knowing that he's well aware of what everyone else is seeing here, him trying to get the Super Bowl?
I can't say that I've seen a change. I really haven't. He seems pretty upbeat, pretty relaxed, pretty confident. I haven't seen a change. You know, obviously, he definitely want to be something he add to his resume, but I hadn't noticed a difference in him.
He tells some way. He tells he's nervous about something. Does he ever change his behavior when you tell something's occupying him?
Yeah, I mean I can't because I've known him so long. So, but not huge changes. I could just tell by how he paces around sometimes, and you know, I could just tell. I could look at him and see how his wheels turning.
And this week, you feel, how would you evaluate?
He's been normal. He's been normal.
Trent, what do you like about being an offensive lineman?
It's a blend of things. I appreciate how smart you got to be to play the position. To be a consistent offensive lineman, how focused you have to be, how attention to detail plays a huge factor, and how skilled you have to be. It's one of the few positions that you go backwards, you know. And then as an athlete, all day you've taught going forward and how fast can you go forward is that's a measure of how good of an athlete you are. But you know, we do a lot of this on our heels, going against some of the best athletes on the field. So I appreciate the challenge of it, and I like the fact that it's you know, relatively, you know, under the radar. You know, I like to remain kind of under the radar. I think the only thing that surprised me is the media. It's like it's just crazy. So, everything else coach has done a good job, you know, and then, you know, I'm just following the lead from the people who've been to a Super Bowl, and everybody's doing their best to keep it a normal week. Yeah, it definitely feels different. It's a Super Bowl, but, you know, all the emotions and stuff, that only lasts for a couple plays. You know, it's still about honing in on the game plan and getting the blueprint and executing the blueprint, and who can play mistake-free football for 3 hours. That's what it all is going to come down to. I mean, I think it's just Super Bowl is just as important as the NFC Championship, which is just as important as the divisional round game, just as important as the wild card. So I think if you've been in that win-or-go-home situation, it's pretty much all the same. No, no concerns.
Man, Trent Williams for sure. Just the city, like the fans, like how amazing our fans is. This is number one thing.
Deebo, question for the American football community in Belgium. They hardly use you as a running back in college, and then suddenly in 2021 you had a lot of rushes. Who came up with that? Was it you who asked it, or was it the coach?
I think that was Kyle, and if you go watch the college tape, I did play a lot of running back actually, but it just came from Kyle.
Deebo, how do you explain the fact that people actually love players like you and like Cordell Patterson who can be a threat both ways?
What are you asking?
How do you explain that people love players like you and Cordell Patterson who can be a threat in both ways?
I mean, I think coaches love a lot of players that can do more than one position.
Deebo, facing the secondary, young peers secondary of the team, being Cena, McCaffrey, do you prefer to attack them with the yards after catch in a short pass, or do you prefer to go deep and slot?
However Kyle want to get it done, we're gonna get it done.
That's
I think it did kind of play a factor because when I was a rookie, I was just like one of the happiest kids just walking around like, bro, I'm playing in the Super Bowl. And I was kind of spoiled in the sense like, yo, like we're going to keep coming to the Super Bowl, but in reality, it doesn't happen. And it's like this time is a little different. I'm not too much up here because I know I've been here. I know what all come with it and things like that. So really just keeping the main thing. Nah, they cool. They know what to do. They've been playing pretty good ball.
Brandon's catch, what are you going to remember most about it?
One, I don't know how it even happened. I ran around and I just see the ball going over my head and I look up and look at Brandon, and I thought the dude picked it, but then I see the ball bounce off the dude's head and fall right in the BA hand. Oh, that was huge. That was definitely huge. This year, winning the NFC Championship right now. None. It's crazy because, man, I remember when Brandon first got here. Like, I seen it. Like, the man literally got all the tools to be one of the best wide receivers in the league, which he is that, and he's shown it over and over and over. But just to see him grow and, you know, from the little dreads to the long dreads, you know, from the little dreads to the long dreads, I think the long dread BA way better than the old head, the short dread BA. But man, the man playing outstanding right now for real.
Yes, hi. Yes. Brock does impersonations? I had no idea. No, I had no idea. No. What? Brock. I have no idea. I've never. He could try to impersonate me. He could try. It's pretty easy actually. You just smile a lot. Yeah. Zakel. Oh wow. Offensive lineman, quarterback. It honestly reminds me of me a lot. My rookie year, I lived with a wide receiver, Trent Taylor, and offensive lineman, J.P. Flynn, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time. We had a 3-bedroom apartment, like a mile away from the stadium. And it's just like you're just boys, and it's like really fun when you can like kind of have that college dorm life again. But you're in the NFL, you have a little bit of money, so you can actually go out and do some stuff. So I'm very happy for him because like when you have something like that, it also helps you like not be so stressed all the time because you can't just kick your feet up on the couch and watch a movie and hang out and talk about stupid stuff. It's very helpful, and so I'm very happy that he has a roommate. Yes. I get you in 1 sec.
I was wondering, after your last Super Bowl, you said you want to have vengeance.
Yep.
Do you have like extra motivation because it's the Chiefs you're playing against?
No, not necessarily. I think I don't really need to be motivated to play football, let alone a Super Bowl. The Chiefs just happen to be our opponent this year. They're a fantastic football team with all the weapons and all the answers, and they're the ones who have won 2 Super Bowls already. So there's no extra motivation because it's them. I'm already a pretty highly motivated person.
What does your routine look like these days?
My routine, like every single day of the week, or just Super Bowl week?
Both, if you want.
Oh, I mean that's like a 20-minute question. I can't do all of that, but yeah. I mean, look, all I try to do is my routine I've been doing the entire season, which is like rehab, body maintenance as much as I can throughout the week, which is mostly Monday, Tuesday. Wednesday, get whatever my practice in, get some lifting in, more rehab, and like a majority of it for me is rehab and body maintenance as much as I possibly can, so I feel great. And then watch film and study the playbook. Those are kind of my things that I do, and then hang out with my wife whenever she wants to see me. 1 second. What's up, my guy?
Just tight end university, you and Travis worked together in the offseason. What brought that on?
What brought it on? Oh, wow. What really started it was, so I've lived in Nashville, Tennessee. I've been training there since 2018. We've had a group of 5 to 6 tight ends there, and then in 2019, I think we had like 8 to 12 tight ends training down there. Nashville's kind of a hot spot. I absolutely love it down there. But then, hey guys, those are my tight ends. Dude, hey dude, how we doing? I'm talking about tight end you right now. Let's see. And then I was like, let's see. And then Greg Olson retired after the 2020 season from Seattle, and I had talked to him the last time we played him, and I was like, hey man, like, would love for you to come to Nashville. Like, would just love to pick your brain and talk about it. And so we were like, okay. I called him in the offseason, like, hey, would you come down and like spend a week with us? And he was like, well, we should invite a bunch of tight ends. We'll get Kelsey in. And so we got Kelsey involved with it right then. And so us three just kind of started. It's Kels, isn't it? That's so wild to me. But so then we got Trav involved, and us three kind of brainstormed about it. We're like, well, how many guys can we invite? And they're like, well, let's invite 20 guys. And then we realized once we invited 20, 50 guys wanted to go. And so our first year we did it at Lipscomb High School in Nashville, and we were kind of like just figuring it out as we went. My dad did a great job like planning the whole thing. Our marketing team, Rubicon, did a great job, orchestrating everything, getting sponsors and stuff. And then going into the second year, we did it at Vanderbilt, and we just kind of we just continually tried to put our heads together. And like the second year, I think we had like 95 people show up for the second year. I think we had like 87 this past year for our third year. And all we like, it's been a really fun experience because anytime you can get like Greg Olson, Travis Kelce, we had Gronk at the last one talk, Jordan Reed talked at the last one too about releases. Like, you bring back guys who these players have like seen on tape, and they've seen them on Monday Night Football and Super Bowls and stuff like that, and then they can hear them talk about plays or like their routine or how do they stay healthy, how do you last 10 years in the NFL. Whether you're Travis Kelce, whether you're Mercedes Lewis, Michael Pruitt's in like year 9, like we ask these guys and like they talk to the young guys. It's just kind of like a seminar of like how to be a professional tight end and how to like achieve your dreams and not just be like, oh hey, I'm in the NFL. It's like, no, how are you going to attack it every single day, and how are you going to be better than all the guys in the room?